Welcome to Roast Mortem, hosted by Travis Lee. I am Travis Lee.
Whoa! Wait a minute! Whoa! Who am I?
I don't know. Who are you?
I'm Travis Lee.
Okay. Cody, who are you tonight?
And I guess I am your Cody for the evening.
Ah, shit. You ruined it, Cody. You're supposed to be Travis Lee, too. Well, Mike, maybe you can come in clutch.
I'm usually Mike most of the time, but tonight I'll be Travis.
All right, great. It's good to
You
hear
can't
from
just decide to be me. You just.
I'm Travis
I don't
tonight.
choose to be Travis Lee.
But you have made choices that have sculpted the man that is Travis Lee.
That's true. Bologna a day keeps the doctor away, as I so would say.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a long time.
You never say that.
I live by that
No,
code.
he hasn't.
Yeah. You have
Out of
like
my
at
fridge
least
somewhere.
7 fruit roll-ups in the soles of your shoes. Gonna walk right faster. That's what Dr. Schultz started as.
These are the choices I am starting to make because I don't care anymore.
Good for you. Good for you.
It's where I'm at. It's where I'm at in life. What's going on, everyone?
Good.
Good.
You
Doing
know,
things.
I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I'm a survivor. I don't know. I don't have Rona.
Totally, completely corona-free cast tonight, which
I hope
I'm
so.
happy
I
to
don't.
report.
We gotta stop talking about this
do you mean,
Corona
Mike?
thing because I feel like we're gonna get an angry letter from someone, and it's not gonna
Yeah.
be like the funny angry letter that we get because we've had a few of those.
Especially from that congressman.
Yeah, but you know, one of those. It's just like, sorry about your kid and your mom.
No, it's going to be like my poodle's sister's owner, like niece's cough twice because of the coronavirus. How dare you?
All right,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. Maybe we should just stop talking about it because it's really not funny. Not because it wasn't funny, but you just hear it everywhere. There's no jokes to be
Yeah.
made anymore. It's done.
Yeah.
we've
Sounds like a
exhausted
beer. Toilet paper's not here anymore.
This. Yeah,
You've heard
Yeah.
it. We don't need to beat a dead horse.
yeah. We're not Twitter.
I feel like there was something that I did. Man, it had to do with Corona again. I watched the Corona porn.
What?
Yeah,
Corona?
how'd that go?
They exist.
Wow, look at that.
What is that? Just
There's this guy eating someone out with a face mask on.
That just sounds like BDSM, though.
I would think it would be a little bit more like guy just sneezing to the asshole of a woman.
A gaping asshole.
She makes a French horn sound out of her mouth.
Or woman
Walks into the
opens
room.
door
Excuse
with
me.
asshole.
Do you have a sink where I can wash my hands? She's just like, well, I just filled up with some cleaning solution in my rear end. Would you like to fist me?
I have the Purell just for that.
Yeah, stay clean. Stay clean.
Yeah, stay
All right.
clean.
Well, we did it. We made an original Corona joke that had nothing to do with Corona. Just
There we go.
You're welcome.
All right, I take it all back.
Don't.
All right, no more Corona jokes.
That was the last one.
Well, you can't do it anymore.
All right.
Yeah.
So
no
moving
more. Come on.
along.
Anyone else this week? Different? What types of porn did you watch?
I don't know. I'm working on a show right now. It just got bought by Netflix, so that's cool.
You're greenlit.
And I'm heavily involved in it, but it's good. Work is good. You know, I'm talking into microphones for work. That's hilarious.
There you go.
And you're doing it now for funsies.
It's not fun anymore. It's just fucking not fun.
It's work.
I don't want to talk to you
Done
guys.
having fun. Yeah. Got it.
Mike, what'd you do?
Just moseyed about. Just, trying to avoid the Rona.
Bring it back
Locked
in.
locked inside a dark room for a week.
You brought us back. We told you not to do it, and you brought the topic
Bad
back.
Mike.
Drop and give me 40 Kegels.
Ew.
Ass Kegels.
Is there any other type, Travis?
How
You can do it with.
Eyelid Kegels?
Yeah! Eyelid
Eyelid
Kegels.
It's just blinking.
Ah!
Stop it. That's disgusting.
I don't know. Maybe we should just go right into it. Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe that's just.
I went to the
been
zoo,
alive
but fuck
this
me.
past
Oh, you went to the zoo?
Oh,
went to the zoo.
Cody looked
You
at a
did?
giraffe.
Did you pet anything?
It was one of those typical zoo experiences where, like, I want to say like 65% of the animals just weren't in their exhibit for some reason.
This was empty.
You know what I mean? You're walking and it's just like, rhino, that sounds like fucking cool. Like one of those, like fat leprechauns, fat unicorns. Like, let me see one of those. And it's, of course, just not there.
It's on break.
No, it was just not there because, like, for whatever reason, there was like an active cement mixer in the exhibit too. and I was just like, well, it'd be fucking reckless to have a rhino and an active cement mixer in the same exhibit at the same time.
No, the rhino's part of the union. He had to take a break.
Oh, he was just putting pavers
Smoke
down.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out there.
Yeah.
That's a weird looking rhino.
His legs are crossed. He's sitting in a chair smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
of course.
smoking a Newport while eating like an apple. You
Yes.
know what I mean? It's like that kind of construction worker. Where it's like, this will cancel each other out.
Yeah, scheming of ways to get disability.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What if my horn accidentally fell off while I was making cement?
Well, it's an accident,
That's,
so it doesn't
Get some money out
fall
of
under
that.
company insurance.
Yeah.
How do they get fucking rhinos to goddamn Hawaii?
I don't know. I mean,
Boat.
it's got to be by fucking air.
You think
Put
they
'em in a
fly them
cargo.
bitches in?
Yeah.
You come on a freight
Flown
bus
rhinos.
or a freight
Yeah.
boat.
Well, they do. Just knock it out. A little bit of that right through the old
Oh,
rhino
yeah.
skin. Push it up
Some
there.
Xanax. Yeah.
Here, rhino,
Papa
come on
Xannies.
on here. Here's some hay. Come into the fuselage. Walk on in. Look at this hay we got for you. Doesn't it look good?
Oh, yeah.
Get him.
Oh!
All right. Like I said before, we should really just get into this.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Also,
done
last
trying.
week's episode, we talked for 15 minutes before we said anything about Bo Brummel.
Yeah, well, we're just best buds. We're just talking.
But no one wants to hear us. I think that's like
No.
people.
Yeah, it's weird.
They skip that. It's like an ad for our lives. Like it's an ad for people to like us as people.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
is
a horrible
yeah.
human being.
we're
I
not
don't know why.
likable.
No. I mean, if anything, if you want to find good friends, you should play Raid Shadow Legends.
How's that?
Stop.
Oh, thanks. Yes.
You need to not do that.
All right, Travis. What kind of research did you do while you were socially distancing yourself this week?
You bastard!
Tonight, we're actually talking about a weird introvert boy. So he did a lot of social distancing by choice, and he also lived through some plagues and shit. But let's jump right into it. Tonight, we're roasting Leonardo. He was born with his 3 other brothers. They were dumped in the sewer in New York, and then some ooze fell on them. They turned into pizza-eating ninjas that
Really?
fight with rats.
They don't fight with rats. They train under rats.
Yeah, they fight.
Sounds
Really,
familiar,
this is gonna be a
Travis.
bad episode. If any listener
Yeah.
wants to,
Good start, Travis.
yeah, really, just the worst joke possible, right into the lead-in.
Right, I had to get the Ninja Turtles out of the way right there.
I
'cause
get
we're-
that.
When you
part.
say get it out of the way, that entails you're not going to come back to it.
Well,
But
we're-
you're just gonna you're just making the basket that is this episode just by weaving in fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle jokes.
Well, I'm just gonna say we're gonna be talking about Michelangelo and Raphael, and what was the other one? Donatello. I don't.
Picasso.
We're not talking about Donatello. Whoa, we're
Splinter.
talking about Leonardo. Yeah, we're talking about Leonardo da Vinci.
Look at that. What?
Yeah.
Mona Lisa, right? Not
It's
is
a
that
big
him?
one.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Good
did
job,
the-
Mike.
See that? Knew
My
that.
Mona Lisa.
Are we gonna talk about the Mona Lisa?
We are gonna talk a little bit about the Mona Lisa.
Good.
But right off the bat, I wanted to say Leo is actually pretty fucking awesome. So, like, tonight we're not roasting a dickhead. He's probably one of the greatest minds the world has ever seen.
Oh, fuck you.
I'm
We'll
al-
roast you for thinking that.
I'm also not so convinced that he wasn't a time traveler based on some of the things that he thought of. And also, another thing, he wasn't one of those, like, Asperger geniuses like Einstein, cousin toucher. The dude was really
Yeah.
social. He was, like, fun to party with.
Oh, he was
He
cool.
touched his cousin in public.
He didn't touch his cousin.
Da Vinci didn't touch his cousin. He didn't know who his cousin was.
Yeah.
The only thing that touched his cousin was the plagues.
Yes. Little boobons.
Just more to feel.
So
Da Vinci
Leo
Code.
was primarily, as an artist, he was primarily a painter, but he was also a sculptor, an architect, and much more than that. He was a philosopher, a scientist, an engineer, geologist. And, I mean, he pretty much anything there was to observe in the world, he wanted to learn about it.
Okay.
In an
Yeah.
age where there was no Google, so he had to do all that legwork.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
A lot of reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
So the thing is, you have a lot of hobbies? How many hobbies you guys have?
Since I do this for work now, I don't have any.
Yeah. I have stretches of the day where I distract my self-loathing by, like, playing Pokemon. Does that count?
Yeah. It's called
Great.
Yeah.
It's called being a millennial that plays Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, I've just been so busy that like I just sometimes reminisce of other times I have jerked off.
Oh, nice.
I don't jerk off anymore. I just think of times, and I was like, yeah, that was a good one. I remember that one.
Tom, you have to do some me time. You have to put that in the Google Calendar. Jerk off sesh.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
I'm a
Takes
brick,
away the
man.
stress, you know what I mean?
I am way bricked.
15 minutes.
You look at my schedule. You go, Tom, how you gonna do all this? And I say, easy. I'll be dead by 34.
You got micromanage, Tom.
Hang in there.
So here's the thing. Leonardo da Vinci had so many different hobbies. But, like, how do you find all the time to do all that? You know? Like,
good question,
he's doing
right?
a lot.
Back
doing a
then,
lot of
it
things.
was, I don't know.
That's even a lot for back then. You know, you got to think about, you got to cook meals and shit.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
You gotta
I don't know. You can't just, like,
go to
order
work, I
Domino's.
guess.
No DoorDash for Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing was Leonardo da Vinci rarely finished anything that he worked on.
Oh, that's what I do.
Yeah. Even some of the most famous paintings that survive today aren't even finished.
Really?
Stuff like the Mona Lisa, like you mentioned. A
It's not
painting
finished?
called
No.
painting called Saint Jerome
Wow.
in the Wilderness and the Adoration of the Magi. All these are considered masterpieces, but you can see clearly that they're not finished.
Oh, man. Question. Was St. Jerome a vampire?
Yeah, he's a vampire. He's currently living in L.A.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
A great musician.
All
Check
right.
him out.
That's an inside joke.
Yeah. I don't know why we do those.
I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
They are fun, but I don't know why we do those.
Well, it's
I don't know.
like
Look
a
it up.
puzzle.
Google us.
Yeah.
Like, just Google around. Look for a Jerome who's a vampire. Maybe something happened.
Can't miss him. You can't fucking miss him.
Yeah, so Leo's got a lot of things going on, and he's kind of a lazy boy sometimes. You know what I mean? He just doesn't. When you take, Tom, like you worked freelance. Cody, you've worked freelance. Mike, you've eaten pizza before.
Yeah.
When you say you're going to do something for money, like you have to do it.
For money,
Oh,
yeah.
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 You're under the gun, you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, Cody, why is your toilet running for like the 8th month in a row? I'm just like, no one's paid me to touch it yet.
Oh, that gives me a great idea. Someone should pay me to jerk off. I'll
Yeah.
figure that out later.
Yeah, fans only, or just Patreon.
Go to a sperm bank.
Start it up
No,
on Patreon.
I don't want to get paid to jerk off. You know when people on
Roast
Patreon
mortem
say, buy me
cam.
a coffee? I'm just like, buy me 5 minutes.
5 minutes of
Just to
time.
justify me not doing anything for 5 minutes. Anyway,
that cost?
Tom, is that where our Patreon money is going towards? Your 7 Pornhub premium accounts?
yeah. Well, I got different ones. I
Why
like
7?
different tastes. Sometimes I
Yeah.
wake up and feeling a little more gay than usual, you know? Thank God for the variety.
All right, so Leonardo was born in Vinci. Thus
Yes.
his name, Leonardo da Vinci.
I love that trick question. You know, in like grade school, people were like, "Oh, what color was George Washington's white horse?" Where was Leonardo born is just like a step up of that like dumb grade school trick question that I love.
He was squirted into the world in 1452
Wow.
during the heart of the Renaissance in
Renaissance.
Italy.
Good time.
Yeah, great time to be born if you're a artist because there's a lot of art going on.
Yeah, like 200 years prior, he'd just be like fucking making carrots and just being stumped. Not farming them. He'd just be like, how do I make carrots? Like, you just have like paint and clay out, and it's just like, I can't eat any of these.
I want a long root vegetable.
There were some dark ages during the dark
Yeah, it must have
ages.
sucked
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
then. Like 1310. Like, it must have been a shitty year. to
Oh,
do
that was
stuff.
that was when the world was as smooth as it could get.
Yeah.
Because Rome happened, they figured all this shit out, and then all of a sudden Christ came into the picture, and everyone was like, "Let's just kiss that guy's feet for the next 1,000 years."
Yeah.
Here's an interesting factoid. Go look at any of our like New Year's countdowns. We can't find anything during the Dark Ages.
Yep.
Like,
They didn't know how to read or write or even use Twitch stream.
no,
crazy,
they didn't
right?
write anything down because they were
Imbeciles.
too busy not dying.
Didn't have Fortnite. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you couldn't watch Fortnite. You couldn't be like sitting in your barn and be like, "Whoa, that cow is really good at digging and shooting things."
I thought you were gonna be like, that cow is really good at looking sexy.
Oh, gamer cow pee. So Leonardo was a bastard. He was
cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
sweet.
the firstborn illegitimate child of wealthy notary Sir Pedro. That's his name.
Okay.
That's his dad's name.
I'll
We don't really know.
I'll take
We
it.
don't. Yeah, we don't really know his mother because she was illegitimate. Most historians believe her name was Katerina.
I like the notion of having an illegitimate mother, not a child.
Well, I mean, this is the time where it's like, if you're wealthy, you must touch a princess vagina clitoris.
Yeah.
If you touch a dirty one that picks up cow pies and licks the bottom, then you will never have fame.
Yes, your children will not be canon if you don't touch a princess vagina.
Well, thank God Sir Pedro was such a bastard maker, because we wouldn't
like
have this
that.
brilliant mind without him.
Yeah.
that's
that
a good.
is
That's a
true.
good Xbox Live handle.
Bastard maker. Yeah.
Yes, that guy's got like a 6.2 KDR.
I'm actually going to start a grind project called Bastard Maker. You mark my words.
Before it got famous.
So his father was 25 when Leo was born and quickly found an actual wife and moved to Florence,
Oh, nice.
which is near Vinci. Caterina was said to have married a man named Acatabriga
Some
and
mouthful.
moved
Butchered that.
and
Probably.
moved to Camp Zeppi, which was a few miles outside of Vinci.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, they make Zeppeli there.
I believe you today.
Yeah,
Sound legit, you know?
Acatabriga, Accattabriga.
Who grew up just outside of Vinci.
Yeah. So that guy, that's who's porking Leonardo's wife, or mom, maybe. That's his stepdad.
Okay.
Okay.
So this left, she's off in Camp Zeppi with this dude making a family, and his dad moves to Florence. So poor old little Leo was left to be raised by his grandfather and grandmother. And
Wow.
he spent his childhood picking olives on their villa.
What a fucking Italian.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picking olives. I like olives.
Easier than picking peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't got to play in the dirt for olives.
Yeah.
Just like
You just
wow.
reach up and look good.
Those trees aren't even tall.
You ever eat a raw olive before? I did it once by accident because I'm an idiot.
It
Disgusting.
tastes like, gross.
Really?
Yeah, it's like biting into a wet pine cone.
Ugh.
Disgusting.
Ew.
Whoever decided to do anything with olives, but
Visionary.
I mean,
Yeah.
you really got to work them. You know,
You
get
gotta
some
get
good
the
stuff later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta use those artist fingers like you're making paint or pudding or jello, and you just gotta touch it and get it all slimy and turn into oil.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got excited.
I know.
It was weird. We all saw it.
I see the
Yeah.
color rushing to your face right now.
All right, so despite all this, Leo would spend his time with his mother occasionally, it's believed. Again, one thing about Leonardo da Vinci's life is that we don't know much. He kept
Okay.
a notebook, and he didn't really talk about his family. Like, you had to kind of decipher it, and then there'd be
yeah.
hints from people writing about Leonardo da Vinci about what he said, but his whole early life, especially, is very kind of obscure, and we'll get into that. So it's possible that he did see his mother growing up because he wasn't that far from Camp Zeppi.
Yeah.
Now, being a bastard in the 15th century Italy didn't mean that Leo was completely shunned by his family. As I said, he's growing up with his grandparents. But it did mean that he couldn't become a doctor or lawyer or something fitting of the son of a wealthy dude like his dad.
Really? Just because he's a bastard?
Yeah, just because he's illegitimate, he could
Wow.
not be he couldn't get those MD jobs,
No school would have a bastard on their premises.
Jeez. People are crazy, man.
I know, right?
Maybe we should readopt that system. Oh, your parents divorced? Not allowed to do anything. Go figure out.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have lawyers anymore.
I
They all
know.
come
There you
from broken homes and dreams.
Maybe it would be a different world. Maybe it's cruel up front, but maybe it saves us a lot of time. Oh, you got to be an artist. You got to be an artist. You got to be an author. Sorry, you can't be a doctor because we need someone from a legitimate family, not one of these fake families.
Oh, so if you were illegitimate, you were forced to pursue a dishonorable career being an artist. amongst other things, apprenticeship in something. So artisans in northern Italy were a dime a dozen. They were. It was a dirty gig-based economy. They lived
sounds familiar.
Yeah, they lived with dozens of pupils, and if they were lucky, they would get a patron, which we are trying to get.
Wow, it's spitting image.
Yeah.
We're artists. We're mouth artists, right, Travis?
Yeah, mouth artists. Look at me move it. Yeah.
Some nice lips.
Yeah, get this man patrons.
I can't believe we even have a single patron.
We have 32 as of this recording. That's
I
amazing.
still can't believe we have a single one.
Let's make it 33.
My dreams have come true.
So think of when you received this patron in 15th century Italy. It's more like getting a permalance gig, right? We're talking about a gig-based society. You're permalance. These artists were revered amongst the aristocracy.
Good.
But they looked down on them. They kind of used them as a status symbol, like their monkey or court jester. Like, look at my artist. He painted a portrait of my hiney.
Didn't have phones
Yeah, it's like
back
when you commission somebody from DeviantArt to like turn you into like a hentai like illustration. It's like, look, I have this now.
And then if you're getting your butt painted, and then the guy's too good at it, it's like, well, maybe my ass needs a little sprucing up. Maybe can we erase a couple of those hemorrhoids and pumples that I have on my rear end?
When you're saying you're getting your ass painted, is he literally having the brush on your ass?
Yeah, I'm getting Edward Monk's scream on my ass cheek.
I like that.
Using watercolors.
So around the age of 12, thanks to the help of his father, Leonardo became an apprentice with Andrea del Verruccio. I swear I got that right the first time, but then my internet crashed.
Sure.
So this was in Florence. He got this apprenticeship in Florence, and Verruccio was one of the biggest artists in Florence, had plenty of commissions and patrons throughout the city. Now, Verruccio's story is and why he became an artist was a little bit different from most of the illegitimate bastards that made up his industry. Verruccio when he was 14, he was throwing rocks at a temple, because that's what you did when you're 14. Just, look at that church. I'm going to throw rocks at it.
Wait, were they throwing rocks at a Jewish temple?
I don't know. It just said a temple.
Yeah, it was probably a Jewish temple.
Probably
synagogue.
There is a distinction between temple and church, so...
Yeah.
I think that is a common pastime for back then, 1500s.
Yeah.
Just throwing shit at temples, see what happens. They really did get the brunt of it through history.
Yeah, that's true. Eventually, he hit one of his fellow friends in the temple.
Oh, no.
So he's throwing rocks at the temple,
look
hit
at
his
that.
friend in the temple, and killed him.
Oh,
So-
you killed him?
Yeah.
Was his first reaction, bullseye?
His first reaction was, bro, are you okay, man? Are you okay, man?
How big was this rock? Was the rock bullet-shaped? Did it come out of a gun?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
wasn't like Leonardo da Vinci like one of the first people to like invent something that resembled a gun?
Yeah,
That'd be
well,
interesting.
we'll talk about that.
Ooh.
So, this shunned Verruccio from the rest of the world, and he was in the art world. Most artisans at the time were skilled in every form of art because they were there to get commissions and to make money. So, like, it didn't matter what it was. Like, you want a sculpture painting? Yeah, I'll do a sculpture. You want a picture painting? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so just imagine like a sex worker that only does like hand gibbers. You'd be like, you're a bad sex worker if that's your only specialty.
Right? Well, that's a masseuse.
Yeah.
It's like
Point
those
taken.
people
You're not wrong.
on the streets of New York City that like draw like you like as like a cartoon, the big ass head.
Yeah, the caricature drawings?
yeah,
yeah.
like that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have several of those of
do?
myself, yes.
Those are cool.
When I would go to work every day, I would get one.
Really?
Yeah, I would
And you
enjoy
worked
my
in
coffee.
Times Square.
I would enjoy my coffee and sit there and get my portrait
I can see
drawn
it-
every day.
I can
Those
see a
guys got
legitimate
talent.
old man doing that every day, reading the newspaper, getting his caricature drawn.
There's got to be some weirdo who got off on that, like watching this Asian guy just trying to make ends meet by drawing fucking weirdos walking into
Always
Times
with it.
Square eating too many M&Ms.
Always the stinkiest marker too he's drawing with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those last the longest.
So Verruccio's spec was goldsmithing. That was his big thing. All these artists, they could do everything, but they're always good at one particular or two particular things. Verruccio was goldsmithing. So being an apprentice meant that Leonardo needed to do the usual grind. And this was mixing paint, preparing canvases, sweeping, cleaning the studio, usual intern lackey shit.
There you go. It's good stuff.
One of the things that Leonardo had to do was prepare salts. I am assuming you need salts for painting, Tom. Do you need some?
I don't know, dude. I usually just go to fucking Michael's.
Salt pre-mixed into every canvas.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't paint. I'm not, like, yeah.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Did some
Need
art
salt.
in my life, but to say you need salt, that's beyond me, dude.
Well, you're also a salt man.
I'm only 31.
Okay.
The world still needs to be explained to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
So
yeah.
Leonardo would have to make these salts for painting. And this was in his notebook. He wrote, salts can be made from human excrement, burned, calcified, stored, and dried over a low fire. Any excrement will yield salt in this manner, but human excrement is the best. So here's a
likes
little
poop.
Here's a little Leonardo out in the streets picking up human poopies and burning them.
Excuse me, Principessa. Are you going to use that shit for something? I'd like to take it back and put it over a nice fire. I'll split the salt with you 50-50, please.
Yeah.
Gross.
So he's a little poop boy.
Salty poops.
Yeah.
I feel like
But what-
Italians would have like the saltiest poop of like all humanity.
Oh, yeah, that squid ink pasta dog. That's
Yeah,
all
marinara.
salt. It's black.
Marinara, yeah.
Leonardo, when his talents were actually put to use and he wasn't picking up poop, immediately Verruccio noticed that he had this like supernatural talent to observe the world and put it onto a page.
Cool.
One thing that he did notice, he was like, you're great at drawing, but you're doing it wrong because you're supposed to use your right hand, you idiot.
Oh, he's one of those.
Ooh.
Yeah, Leonardo was a lefty.
Well, that's a huge mark against him.
Yeah, it's interesting because the whole connotation of being left-handed as being evil didn't seem to be a thing back then. It was just wrong. Like, it would take on that whole idea of, like, when you're left-handed, like, Satan's working. But it doesn't, in all these things I saw that mentioned about him being left-handed, no one's like, oh, the devil's in him. There's like, no, he's just an idiot. Look, he's doing it wrong.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Well, this is also like they're getting over the. This is a Renaissance era. They're a little
Yes.
more open-minded. Had that been 1,000 years before, it'd be like, oh, well, cut it off then.
Yeah.
If you won't stop using it, cut it off. Start over.
So another weird thing that he did was he often would write, instead of left to right, he'd write right to left
Yeah.
in Italian, left-handed.
Cursive.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't smear the page.
it's weird.
Oh.
Right
Yeah,
to
that makes
left.
sense.
Huh.
Did you
Do you
not
think
put
that-
that together?
No, do you
No.
think backwards?
Well, when you're left-handed and you're writing left to right, you're smearing the ink the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that
You
makes
go
sense.
if you go the other way, there won't be smudges. So that makes total fucking sense, actually.
That's why you don't try to eat a hot dog like from the center,
This is
because you're gonna
Alright,
get
yeah.
mustard on both sides of your mouth.
Are you sorry yet, Tom?
I am. Because I felt like what I just said was pretty obvious, and I watched both of your eyes like click, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then all of a sudden, Travis like, and that's why you don't eat a hot dog in the middle. You got, it's all coming together now.
All right.
That was the missing
So-
link that I needed.
Yeah, dude. So, all right. I'm talking about his notebooks. Leonardo kept tons and tons of notebooks. Notebooks.
Why the simplest
bros.
word in that sentence?
There's a hard one, man. Hard one. Sometimes the easiest stair is the hardest to fall. He was one of those artists that constantly kept a sketchbook. You know,
Okay.
a lot of artists do that. You see some guy, some cute dude at college, and he's got his hair in his eyes. He's like, I'm going to draw you a picture. Like one of those
Yeah.
guys.
I fall for those guys every time.
Yeah,
Man.
right?
Oh wow.
So he filled his pages with the faces that he saw in the streets, things he observed in nature and in the studio. He'd also do weird geometric and mathematical theories, and he wrote down almost everything in it. I mean, there's like shopping lists, bills and debts, like calendars.
It's very
he
organized.
just filled his sketchbook up with everything.
That's what you do.
Yeah, which is kind of cool when you're like looking at Leonardo da Vinci's like shopping lists. It's like
Yeah. It was like more poop.
it was like wine, poopies.
Broken eggs.
So I kind of went over this before. He didn't really talk about his personal life that often. His notebooks would mention events, but it would never really talk about his emotions or like the state of mind he was in, which made him kind of an enigma towards his future biographers.
He has like this mysterious lure about
AKA
him.
us.
Yeah. So Leo was there learning from Verruccio, and he's quickly outshining him thanks to his obsession with realism. And Verruccio really beat into his apprentices that they should draw from nature and approximation should not be tolerated.
Oh, okay.
Like, you see that thing? That's what it should look like.
It's basic, but yes.
Yeah.
I
Straight
get
to the
it.
point, yeah.
101. If you're drawing something, draw it that way.
Yep. No tracing.
Yeah.
but copy it.
Leonardo writes, the spirit of a painter will be like that of a mirror.
Ooh.
Deep.
Deep, bruh.
Didn't know about phones, though.
Nah, they have a camera phone.
Yeah.
Nope, none of that.
I think Leo had like a flip phone, though.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, those have been around that long. Yeah, flip phones are ancient.
So when Leo was around 20 years old, he created the first Western landscape. That's right. Somehow, never before had anyone just painted a landscape. He was like, I'm gonna draw this dirt and tree. There's no one in this picture.
Okay. Let me.
Where is the subject?
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe in the Renaissance, like things were going reasonably all right for society, where he could, waste paint and canvas to not draw a subject, as Tom said.
Or maybe society was just built in such a way where everyone was already getting their pictures drawn in that moment.
Yeah,
There's always just somebody in the way of the landscape, like some tourist.
Right.
And that undermined the categorization of landscape. It's just like, it's a portrait from 800 yards now because
It's
there was one
different.
tourist. And
Hey, free portrait from Leonardo da Vinci. Anyone? Free portrait. I'm Leonardo da Vinci. You're gonna like my work. You're gonna like it. Come on, sit on down. No, nothing. It's free. You're not gonna, all right, I'll just fucking paint those bushes and shit.
dude, I like how Travis said Leonardo was reputed for not finishing
yeah.
any of his work. So like, this could be a portrait that he just didn't finish.
I'm gonna
got
do the
filed.
background first.
Yeah, let me do the background first.
Ooh, the tea is done.
History's
I'm busy
first
thinking, I'll come back
landscape.
to it.
Wow, this unfinished shit's pretty cool.
Yeah, someone's like, genius, I'll pay 800 lira for it.
And he's just like walking back with some Italian bread in his mouth, like, oh, I wasn't done it. Well, if you want it, I don't care. I probably wasn't gonna finish it.
Yeah, that's what that was.
So, apprentices, when you were an apprentice at one of these art studios, once they were vetted, they would work on the painter's paintings, like the master's paintings with them. So these were parts that the master painter was like too lazy or too busy to finish, or just wanted them to color in sections.
There you go.
Like, no, you fucking do it. So Verruccio was like, all right, Leo, we're going to tag team this painting of the baptism of Christ. So I'm going to do the Jesus, and there's going to be a dude splashing water on his dome, and I want to have like 2 kneeling angels next to him. You do those chicks. All right.
All right, yeah, fine. Easy.
So there they are painting, and I'm going to send you a picture of the painting.
Oh, great.
Cool.
Yes.
Visual aids.
Oh, nice.
Paintings are credited towards Verruccio, but Leonardo, this is like one of Leonardo's first big jobs.
You see that fucking day glow
oh,
loincloth?
Yeah.
He's a fucking influencer. Look at him.
So, yeah, Leonardo was in charge of those 2 bitches sitting there kneeling next to Jesus' butt. But if you look at the different people in this painting, you're kind of like, wow, Jesus looks like he's trying to shit an avocado seed, and John the Baptist looks like a weird skeleton man, and those angels look pretty damn good.
Straight up, Jesus is on meth in this picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, the angels are just better.
yeah.
The cloth is better. The way the cloth sits. Yeah, Da Vinci's got it going on.
Yeah, and Verruccio saw this, and he's like, damn, Leonardo, like, I'm never going to paint again. You're just better than me.
That?
Yeah, and
He didn't quit?
this was the last picture that Verruccio ever did. He did other things like sculptures and stuff, but he never painted again.
It's like, fuck, I suck. I'm giving it up.
The fucking tree in the background on the left literally looks like some fucking clip art.
Yeah.
I like the UFO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They
that's
had those
cool.
back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All kinds of UFOs.
Also,
Amazing.
another thing you can see when we look at some more of his Leonardo's pictures is this one's definitely not his because all of the figures have halos. Leonardo da Vinci didn't paint halos on people, but
Because they don't exist, and he was told to copy nature. I see.
All right, so Leonardo had like clothes and faces down pat, but he was also really big on drawing animals.
Yeah.
He loved drawing his animals. He'd find like a cute little cat and he'd be like, I'm gonna draw you, little poocheroo. Boop, 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 good boy.
Little poocheroo.
Yeah.
Reference to a cat.
He had pages and pages of cat drawings in different poses, them licking their nuts.
Oh.
Sometimes the cats would like he'd kind of get like bored of drawing a cat and it would like transform into what he imagined as a dragon.
Oh, he's Dr. Seussing shit.
Yeah. And a lot of the times these dragons he drew, what he would do is he'd take one creature and he usually based off of like a cat body, and then he'd put like chicken feet on it and like a lizard head. You know, like, oh, it's my
He's a
dragon.
sicko.
Dude, he's like literally like high school doodling in the margins right now.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to do a cat. Oops, fucked it up. Let's give it scales, chicken feet, and bat wings. It's a dragon now.
Right as I'm finishing ACDC logo.
One of those 90s
Specialized
S's.
S. Yeah, the S's.
But the creepy thing was Leonardo was also really big into anatomy and dissection of living organisms. Something we'll talk about in a little bit. But sometimes he would show up to parties or a prospective patron and be like, hey, check out this weird animal I made. And it would be like a taxidermied-ish animal because this is like kind of before embalming. But just some creature that he'd Frankenstein together. Like, it's got a
really?
rat
Oh, that's
leg
pretty
and it's
cool.
got like
So,
human teeth.
Dr. Seuss again.
Yeah.
He's doing exactly what Dr. Seuss did.
Is that
Yeah.
P.T. Barnuming?
Yeah, it's 15th century, so like the recreational hobby of playing with dead animals is just more in the cycle of how you kill time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
The only
probably
thing
doing
that
There's no internet.
The only thing I will say is that with Dr. Seuss, there was like refrigeration. There's
Yeah.
like embalming techniques. I'm just imagining this like stinky artist showing up
It's
to
salt.
a party and be like, check out my Sphinx. And it's like there's flies coming off of it and like blood still dripping off of it.
Good stuff.
Pretty neat.
Duh.
Who brought this guy?
So
It's just two dogs sewed together.
yeah, so dissecting things. Yeah,
Yes.
Leonardo, we've all seen the Vitruvian Man or the Renaissance Man.
Yeah.
That's that naked dude that's got like 6 legs and like 4 arms, standing in a circle.
No.
Yeah.
The understanding of anatomy was so crucial if you wanted to be a good painter. But Leonardo wanted more. He wanted to know exactly why dicks got hard. What's inside those squishy eyeballs? Why come toes are like small fingers? He wanted to know all these questions.
Why come toes like small
Yeah,
fingers?
why are toes like squishy fingers?
You're like this guy. You're sitting next to it, next to
Evolution.
Leonardo da Vinci, right there.
Look at him.
I'm taking this in. I've never seen you finish art.
Yeah, that's one thing we got in common, Da Vinci.
Yeah.
So he wanted to know more, and he would draw anatomical drawings, which are crazy impressive. If you just look up like Leonardo da Vinci anatomy, you'll see hundreds of them. He'd also do cross sections of bodies and limbs, mapping
Good stuff.
mapping of veins, that would actually inform the world of medicine for centuries to come. Like centuries from then, people would look at Leonardo da Vinci like, oh, that's where the veins be.
Got it.
You know where this bit of art would go fantastically on? Right on the cover of a Tool album. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe some with a guy's head looking sideways and his hands are out. Maybe a guy named Alex Gray could trace that.
Something that I saw my tracing the body.
Oh, God. I don't get Tool.
Me neither.
Hey, cool album covers, but I never listened to them.
Also, Alex Gray is creepy. He has got that weird cult upstate.
My friend Christian put it really well. Tool is extremely intelligent music for really dumb people.
Interesting.
It's true. It's true. All right, so where did Leonardo get these bodies that he was drawing weird pictures of, them being cut open?
Probably where he gets the taxidermied cats from. The street.
Yeah, maybe a few of them.
Under the street.
The thing is they had to be fresh because this is the 15th century. You couldn't put them on ice, and even Leonardo himself said a body started to rot past the point of a dissection within a few hours in the Italian climate.
So what did he do? He told his boss he was going to go throw stones at a temple. Bring a few friends. So I'll bring all the stones. You just start chucking away. Now you stand here. I'll say, oh, you got him in the temple again. Well, better science him.
Oops.
Can't let it go to waste.
Over the course of his life, he dissected around 30 humans. This was men, women, and even children.
Oh.
Where did he get these people? We don't know. The corpses were fresh. He did say that he needed at least 3 humans to properly create an image for an organ. So he'd be like, you need to dissect 3 people to be like, so you can get every angle of like the lungs while they're fresh.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. At one time, he actually was with an old man that like knew he was gonna die, and just talked to him. He was like, "Oh, you had a great life, right? And, yeah, it was good. I like this.
Hurry up.
Fucking brain him with an easel.
Yeah." And then the second he died, they were joking, Leonardo started cutting him open and looking around.
He didn't even make sure he was dead. Not yet. Wait. Ow.
I was
What's
just
that?
sleeping.
Can't hear you.
Not anymore. You are dead, sir.
Can't live
That's
without
fine.
this. He pulls out one of his fucking main intestines.
Look what I found inside him. His will. He left it all to me.
Leonardo loved drawing dicks.
Oh,
Straight off the
cool.
bat. Loved drawing
doesn't?
dicks.
It's
That's
fun.
another thing you have in common with him, Mike.
It's fun.
Yeah, right? So there were
Easy. It's fucking one and done.
there were a few of dissected dicks, cross sections, but he also drew a bunch of figures of them hard, soft, chubbed, in people, outside of people. There's one particular picture where you see a guy having sex with a woman, and it's in a cross section. It's kind of
Cool.
It's kind of weird.
X-ray porn.
Yeah. The thing is, everyone loves drawing dicks. Doesn't matter your sexual preference.
Oh, yeah.
Leonardo was gay, and there's no debate about this. Some historians, probably the ones that celebrate Christopher Columbus Day, are like, no, dude, he's totally not gay. Don't worry about it. He's a straight
Straight
guy.
as an arrow.
A straight
Fucking
guy.
pussy magnet.
Yeah.
Leonardo. Look at fucking Leonardo over there banging pussies. Oh, God, he's a great guy to bring out. #1 wingman. He will get you futched, and then he will futch the same girl. I swear to God, he loves pussy. He draws pussies too, man. You gotta look. You gotta see the way he draws wallets. You gotta see what's going on.
I'm going to show you a picture of him drawing a dick. Right?
Wow.
Is it a picture, like a Polaroid of him drawing a dick on the bathroom wall?
This is an anatomical dick that he drew, right? There's a lot of
parachuting
detail
dick?
here. You see the nuts.
I don't recognize
that's-
one
yeah,
part of
mushroom
there we
tip,
go.
Yeah.
You see that?
Damn.
Why is the
Thanks,
bladder the
Thanks,
size
Travis.
of...
Well, he's not. Remember, he's not perfect here, but where he's drawing dicks, right? There's
Yeah, he's drawn the evenly dangling testicles, I
Got the
noticed.
sack going.
Yeah.
when it came to
Lot of detail.
drawing a vagina, like you'd think the same level of like, anatomy would be going into this.
Was he drawing stick vaginas?
Yeah.
This is his drawing of a vagina, which it's like,
Yeah, dude. Look at that.
what the fuck is going on in this picture?
Damn.
He's never seen a vagina before.
No.
Yeah.
No,
You just
no, no,
guess
no,
what it looks
no.
like.
Oh, God.
And these weird,
He's thinking like, well,
these weird
back then,
flowering
yeah.
things on the bottom are supposed to be like an anus, like how an anus works.
perfect.
Yeah.
Chocolate starfishes.
Yeah.
So
like your
I know what
head's
he's doing.
out
He's
there.
literally like, well, I know babies fall out of there. So the vagina opening has to be like the size of a grapefruit at least.
You could sneak a 2-liter into a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert with that vagina.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to do an emoticon in the chat of a vagina that's better than that.
Oh, it's great.
Oh,
It's
God.
perfect.
Look at that.
Looks like another mouth.
So Leonardo was never married. He never mentions a girlfriend. He mentions plenty of dudes. So
Really good at drawing penises.
He's great at drawing penises. Doesn't know what
Seen a lot
vagina
of
looks
them,
like.
probably.
Like, if I saw that in real life, I'd be like, woman, we've got to take you to a hospital right away.
Yep.
This is falling apart. This is not going to make it till Tuesday.
I mean, just Google Leonardo
Put
da
a
Vinci
2x4
anatomy, and you can see the detail. Like, I'll do a quick search or something. Leonardo had some hilarious thoughts about dicks. And
As you do.
I was reading one of his quotes or one of his writings, and it legitimately made me laugh out loud. I lolled.
No fucking way.
I was reading the book, and I was just like, "This is hysterical." So I've given it to our thespian, Thomas,
We have one? Oh, hey.
to read because he does this for a living now.
It has dealings with human intelligence and sometimes displays an intelligence of its own. Where a man may desire it to be stimulated, it remains obstinate and follows its own course, and sometimes it moves on its own without permission or any thought of its owner. Whether one is awake or asleep, it does what it pleases. Often a man is awake and it is asleep. Or the man would like it to be in action, but it refuses.
Hate that.
It often desires action, and the man forbids it. That is why it seems that this creature often has a life and intelligence separate from that of the man, and seems that the man is wrong to be ashamed of giving it a name or showing it. That which he seeks to cover and hide he ought to expose solemnly like a priest in mass.
I like that.
That's great.
I can give
Right.
my dick a name. I didn't think about that.
I mean, it all makes sense. All this speaks to men. Every man
Yeah.
listening understands. A lot of women understand this too, because especially the part when you're trying to make it work and it's just not because you drank too much Jameson.
That's never happened to me.
Or you think it with your dick?
Oh yeah, well, it's happened to me plenty of times
Happened to me a
because
lot
I'm
of
a man.
times.
And you got to throw your hands up, and you just say, "Look,
Should have Rhino 69, Tom.
what you have to do is." In that situation, if you didn't figure this out already, you have to blame it all on the woman. You have to immediately just go, well, what kind of fucking lighting is this? Where the hell did you bring me?
You're just like your mother, and you're out of trouble. You just compare
Yeah, you
her
have to
your
just
mother.
go irate. You
I
have
was
to blame it all on them because then the last thing they're thinking about is not your dick, but it's how much of an asshole you are. That's a lot easier to swallow than it is
Yep.
your cock doesn't work.
I just usually flop my balls
That's true, less embarrassing.
onto the vagina, and I'm like, that's it.
This is that's all we're
good.
doing tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna name tag for mine.
What's that?
I was gonna get a name tag man that just says Chief on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get that
Hey,
tattooed.
Chief is down.
Hello, my name is Chief. All right, so we talked about how he likes dicks. Before leaving Verruccio's studio, Leonardo was taken to court for a sodomy charge.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
that.
So the thing about sodomy and sex in the 15th century in northern Italy, it was like cheese on pizza. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone was doing sodomy.
Bad.
That's how it's been for the entire course of human history.
Yeah.
Sodomy is technically blowjobs too. I think we covered that on the podcast.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, it's just
Sodomize
happens.
away.
So, especially in Italy, sodomy was punishable by death, but
Wow.
it was sort of looked at like, you wouldn't just go around cuffing everyone that jaywalked.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's extreme because, like, jaywalk, what is that? That's a $50 ticket or something like that?
I don't know.
That's how we would equate it in our minds. Like, the punishment is not fucking death.
Yeah.
No, or arrest.
Right, so having that mindset with a punishment like that does not make any sense. Pick one.
Right, yeah. Well, anyway, no one's really getting charged with the sodomy. I mean, I'm sure there were. I'm sorry if I'm missing some big case here where it's like, the Italians killed like 700 gay people in the 15th century. But as far as I could tell, there were a lot of artists and they were gay and they got sodomy charges and they were just dropped and like whatever. Also, here's another one for those Goombas out there that think he's straight. He's got a sodomy charge. This is the weird thing about the sodomy charge is that people like...
How does he get a sodomy charge?
Right, so you could either catch someone doing it, or Florence...
Oh, no.
Yeah, or Florence had this weird thing that they used to do. I think it was only certain times of the year, where you could anonymously charge someone of a crime by dropping it into a special mailbox.
Oh, that's fucked up.
What was this, Twitter?
Yeah, what's going on?
So a lot of times people would fuck over their rivals, make up a charge, and throw it in the box. So Leo was a group, was on one of these charges in the box. And he was with a group. It was him listed with a group of other artists charged for sodomy. They said they were having really loud gay sex in their dirty artist studio.
Yes.
Okay.
They probably were. But in any case, the case was dropped, and Leonardo went back to touching butts.
All right.
What happened, Leo? Nothing. You want to fuck?
Yeah. There's also other people that think Leonardo was asexual. Because he said stuff like, those who do not restrain his lustful appetites places himself on the same level as beasts. It's like,
That's deep.
Okay, like... But then he would go around telling these like really crazy sexual jokes, like a woman crossing a treacherous and muddy path who lifts up her dress before and behind. Therefore, she touches both her anus and vagina. She tells the truth 3 times when she says, "This is a difficult passage."
Ha ha! Good stuff.
That is a fun joke. Hey, what did one asshole say to the other asshole?
What?
You want to eat lunch or something? Is that a joke?
Yeah. So he's talking about
Dirty joke.
he's talking about muddy butts and vaginas and like I don't know.
And how they're
He is
difficult.
Yeah,
It's perverted.
he's a dirty little boy.
Yeah, he's almost like slightly confused. Like, hey, women poop out of their vaginas, right? You know what I mean? Like, why is the vagina muddy?
Just crossing that muddy passage.
I don't know how a
Anyway,
baby's made.
yeah,
Mud.
mud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stork.
So Leonardo eventually he leaves Verruccio and sets up his own studio in Florence, and he starts taking in apprentices, and then he becomes a father.
Whoa.
Yes, that's right. He's gay. So this
Has he
was
got a
not
beard?
a biological son. It was literally a boy he just found in the streets.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice of him.
And we're pretty sure that this wasn't just an apprentice. Like, it was probably a boy that he found and was like, "That's a pretty looking boy. I'm going to draw him. Come home with me."
Would you like a bed? And would you like to
Yeah.
stand there for 8 hours while I draw you?
Yeah. So the kid's name was Giacomo. This little shithead would steal money from the purses of his subjects, break Leonardo's bottles of wine, and just cause, like, Leonardo so much grief. He's like a little, like, Italian Dennis the Menace, throwing a burning marshmallow on his forehead.
Denisi Manici.
Yeah. Leo actually named him Saleh, which means demon or limb of Satan.
Well, he should have thrown his ass on the street because he didn't have any legal obligation towards this child.
Yeah, well, for some reason, Leonardo, let this asshole stick around, and he said, "I feed you with milk like my own son." I don't think he knows where breast milk comes from. Or maybe he was lactating.
Yeah, no idea. It comes from the belly button.
Look.
There are some rumors that he might have touched this boy. I'm not going to entertain that because there's not enough evidence, and it's stupid.
We already did that. We already covered sodomy.
Yeah, this
Well, sodomy is
child.
different than pedophilic
Right.
sodomy.
I'm just saying we've already had the distasteful conversation of this podcast.
Well, sodomy. I don't see
Sodomy's
anything
fine.
wrong with sodomy.
Put it in a book.
Sodomy's it's great stuff. Dirty work. Someone's got to do it. Okay.
There you go. Mike Rowe.
Yeah. Dirty jobs. Just don't
Yeah.
smell your penis after you're done. At this point, Leo is out looking for his own patrons and commissions. The problem was that Leonardo had a bit of a reputation as a painter. What little commissions he got, like painting a picture above the altar of St. Bernard's Chapel, or his famous and unfinished pictures or paintings, St. Jerome and the Adoration of the Magi, he gave up on and didn't finish them. So,
Wow.
you know, when you start
Probably,
doing
too
that,
frustrated or something like that.
what's that?
Was he, like, frustrated? He just like didn't want to finish them.
I mean, he's also doing all these other things that he likes to do, like all this math
Probably a little
shit.
scatterbrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also slow as shit. Most of his work took him at least 7 or 9 years to finish.
That's too long.
Jeez.
Damn, dude.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
How long
Just to give
does it
up?
take you to
Fuck.
do a fucking podcast, Tom? Like a fucking half a week, right?
It doesn't matter because
Science.
at the end of the day, it's just a podcast. No one's listening.
All right, so here's some of his unfinished works. This is the Adoration of the Magi. Again, these are masterpieces that like art historians are like, "Oh my gosh, so good." But then look in like the upper right corner and shit. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know. You just stopped.
That's
Pretty spooky,
that looks like
that one.
It's not
Looks
even
like,
done. Some of the characters aren't even done.
Yeah. Here's St. Jerome. You can see in the background. Like, I think this is one of the coolest ones he did. I really love this drawing of this guy. But, like, it's the tiger's not done, or the lion. It just, like, he just stopped in the middle of his painting.
it's kind of fucking spooky.
Yeah, those are cool.
Wow.
That's pretty
Yeah,
sick.
I like that.
Yeah, so you can see he just kind of gave up on them. And also, like, again, these people are waiting for these paintings for, like, 9, 7, or 8 years. Like, you know.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
What Leonardo da Vinci was known for was he was a musician. He played the lyre or the plaintive
That's
guitar.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. Was he any good? Could he shred?
So, yeah, here's a story about how good he was at a guitar. He was, like, shredding.
Fucking doing sweeps and shit.
So, Lorenzo de Medici, who we'll probably return to because he was a scumbag. Anyway, he was asked for a bunch of Floresian artists to help paint the recently built Sistine Chapel in the Vatican. Now, Lorenzo picked Botticelli, who's the guy who painted the naked chick coming out of the clam. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
Dude named
Lang.
Signorelli and Gardadereno and Perugino to go help paint the Sistine Chapel. Leonardo, he left.
One of the other guys that they didn't mention was James Gandolfini.
Yeah, he
yeah,
was
I
there.
remember him.
Yeah, he was there too.
Yeah.
Leonardo was left out. He was like, "Oh man, like what the fuck? I paint better than these guys."
I really wanted to paint that one.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So Medici was like, "All right, I got this friend. He's in Milan. Guess what? You should really just play guitar for him." And Leonardo was like all butthurt, but he was like, "All right, I need money. I'll go shred."
Yeah, he was like,
I
I
knew
want
that.
to draw
I knew guitar.
gross vaginas, but instead I guess I'll just shred.
That's pretty cool.
So Leonardo,
Pick and choose.
yeah. So Leonardo moves his ass to Milan at around the age of 30, and he calls this period of his life the happiest he's ever had. He really wanted to get out of Florence. There was a lot of like history with his dad and stuff. Dad was still living there. And here's where we get the glimpse of the engineer and tinkerer that was Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, nice.
So he's constantly studying something. Like when he was a musician, he started inventing his own instruments. And it's said that he was the man that invented the violin.
Really?
Wow. So he's
Really?
like Blue Man grouping.
Yeah, he made some weird organ / drum machine thing that was played with keys. Yeah,
Sick, dude. Him and Jay Dilla, you know?
yeah. So he was also theorizing about how sound travels through air, sort of like waves. He compared it to a stone being thrown into a pond.
Oh,
which, like,
smarty boy.
yeah, this is where I'm like, this dude is a weird time traveler boy. Because, like, he was also talking about things that he called specs or something like that. And he's like, everything is made out of specs.
Oh, look at this. That's cool.
Oh, he's on the atom tip.
Yeah, like, he knew about all this stuff, like, hundreds of years before we actually figured it out.
Wow.
And now I'm going to put another picture in the chat here. So this was one of the drawings that he had in his notebook, and it's a source of a lot of Italian pride.
Bicicletta.
Velocipede.
It's a fucking bicycle.
Yes.
You invented the bike?
Yeah, like, look at that thing.
What?
Like, this was drawn, around the turn of the 16th century. And just to give you a perspective, the modern-day bicycle wasn't invented until 1817, and those look like goofy idiot things. Not like that.
I almost believe this isn't his. It's not refined enough, and the pedal reaches below where the wheel is,
Right.
making the thing useless.
Right. Well, he had, like, a bunch of, like, not all of his stuff was, like, perfectly done.
You like doodles?
Some of them were doodles. And there's a lot of... This one's, like, kind of, like, skeptical because people are like, that isn't a bike because that thing cannot move. Like, someone tried to build it.
I'm skeptical because it doesn't look like his. But if you're saying it is, and everyone else is, then who the hell am I?
Well, right below that, on the same page, he had another very scientific drawing that he made, and it was this.
Was it a cock bicycle?
Looks like it.
Yep.
Yeah! It's two penis men.
That looks like if
those are not
Garfield... That's if Garfield was a cock.
Yeah. Yeah, that's on the same page as this weird bicycle thing. It's two dick horses.
It's gonna be like a bathroom stall in like high school.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, not everything that
He was doing
Leonardo...
that shit way back then.
Yeah, not everything that Leonardo sketched and doodled. Like, this was his, like, notebook that he didn't intend anyone to see. You know what I mean? Like,
Reading his journal.
yeah.
History's a bitch.
Yeah, right? This is like your personal sketchbook. So, Leonardo always claimed to be a pacifist. He was, like, very in tune with nature. I guess you could call him a hippie. But he was constantly coming up with crazy weapons of death.
Cool.
Enough so that later in his life, he was actually recruited as a military engineer for the bloodthirsty tyrant Cesare Borgia. The Borgias, another guy we'll roast eventually. And he was also friends with the guy who wrote Dictator for Dummies, Machiavelli.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Dictator for Dummies. I actually love that.
Yeah, the prince. It's, yeah. So almost all the weapons Leonardo designed never saw the light of day outside of his notebook. In his notebook, he invented things that looked like they were machine guns, shotguns, tanks, and other crazy siege weapons.
Cool.
And this is, again, centuries before we even saw things remotely like that.
But again, just like right underneath that, he'd just draw a penis.
Yep.
Like, weapon of mass destruction that could, lay waste to an entire battalion. Also, silly flaccid penis.
Leonardo, we love your work. We're glad you're on the team developing weapons for us. Really bringing it home. But can you make something that perhaps we don't need a hard penis to operate?
Yeah, instead of like foot pedals, it's just like a penis jab button.
Yeah.
Like, this is the accelerator. You need a boner.
Two engineering subjects that he held his entire career were hydraulics. He was constantly pitching ideas for different canals, advanced sewage systems, dams to various leaders here and there. And his number one was flying.
Yeah.
Leonardo designed flying machines and gliders in his notebooks. And to study this, he would dissect countless birds and bats and other winged animals to get inspiration from nature.
Ah, good.
Yeah, if you want to be inspired by something, kill it.
Kill it and rip it apart.
I like that. Good philosophy.
So there's one famous picture in his sketchbook that looks to be a helicopter.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah,
before.
you've probably all seen it. And just to put that
The air screw.
just to put that in perspective, we did not have helicopters in World War II.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So, this guy's thinking outside the box.
He's
Leonardo
smart.
was also a mountaineer. This guy does everything.
Whoa.
He loved
There's a
to,
lot of fun things, it sounds like.
yeah, he loved to climb mountains. He would often sketch out topographical maps as he hiked through the wilderness. He was the first person to theorize the idea of erosion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What can't this man do?
Yeah.
Right.
So he'd climb up these mountains to the summit, and he'd be standing above the clouds, and he'd be like, "Oh, I wish I was on my flying machine, flying through the clouds."
Flying squirrel machine, definitely.
Yeah. I like how Tom was like, "What can't this man do? Draw a vagina."
Finish
Oh,
it.
yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Can't
That's
finish
his
everything.
kryptonite.
He's probably got something else in there that we hasn't been written down. Like all of his brilliant ideas, and this idiot still couldn't tie his shoes. Never figured
Yes,
that out.
You know what I mean?
Was a Velcro man from the day he was able to walk.
So there were others before him that dreamt of flying and had designed their own machines. So I'm not flying machines. So I'm not saying that he was
Yeah.
like individual in that. And actually, a lot of them are more daring or stupid than Leo because they actually tested their machines out to varying successes.
Ah.
That's sketchy.
As far as we know, Leonardo da Vinci never made any flying machines built to human scale. He'd maybe do a little tiny paper airplane. Like, look, it flies.
I put a dead monkey in it. Let's see what happens.
All right, so let's talk about Leonardo's paintings. Leonardo truly was a master, even though he didn't finish a lot of his works. And the two most famous are obviously the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. We've all seen them. I don't need to post a picture of them. We know
Yeah.
what they are.
If you don't know what they look like, go.
Google it.
Just go. Wherever you are
Just
right
go.
now, leave it.
Just
Go
fucking
outside
go.
without shoes on right now.
Yeah.
Go clean up dog shit for a living.
So when you look at the Mona Lisa today, and also this applies to a lot of Leonardo's work today, you're like, okay, cool. Like, it's not crazy good. She doesn't look.
Yeah,
She
that's
doesn't
how I
look
feel.
like insane. Like,
It's not a Tool album cover.
Do people think the Mona Lisa is like a beautiful woman? Like,
I just think it does the eye tricks. That's pretty
I think
cool.
she's like hot for a dentist office. You know,
I mean,
like the secretary. Like, oh yeah, I'm sitting here waiting to get my teeth scraped. You're okay looking.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like, we got e-thoughts nowadays, and like we like the makeup and Snapchat filters exist today.
ruined
So
my
like, I'm
perception.
wondering back in the day, she might have been a fucking bombshell and a half.
She might have been.
right. So this is the thing: is what you're looking at with almost all of Leonardo's works, all of them. I'm going to just say all of them, except for his sketches and his notebooks, have been restored. They've been touched up over the centuries. So we all remember that derpy Jesus painting from a few years ago that the monks totally destroyed.
Jesus Potato.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that stupid
Yeah.
woman did it.
yeah.
And the
Yeah.
priest told her to do it.
Right. So that's like the worst case scenario. And thankfully, none of Da Vinci's were restored that way. But you've got to
Restored?
Yeah. But you've got to think, regardless of who it was, how are like the restorers aren't going to have the same skill that Da Vinci had when they're covering up these details. Like they're going to cover up details.
Yeah.
And like
especially the paints and stuff like that, different paints.
yeah, and they have been restored, some of them 5-6 times over the centuries. From back then they would light things with oil or candles, which caused smoke, and then the paint gets dimmed.
Yeah, all sooty and shit.
Yeah, or water damage.
Yeah.
Some of the places that he made, like the frescoes and stuff, were flooded and they get water damage.
Oh, that sucks.
Everything was a basement back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
So it was said that the original Mona Lisa was so detailed that you could see the pores on her skin and the tiny anatomically accurate subtle veins in her eyelids. Like that's the level of detail that was in this thing. And in fact, there were 2 stone pillars that are now entirely missing from the painting that they just like
Oh, wow.
covered up.
Really?
So this,
Not original.
yeah, I don't know. They did some X-ray studies and they found another picture. In all the articles, they say they found another picture of Mona Lisa underneath the picture. But what I think it really is just the original that's been so touched up, and they kind of used the other picture as like a clickbait thing for their articles. But this was like an artist rendition, or like I guess what they saw, and they figured what she looked more like. It's
All right.
yeah. So
Hotter.
yeah, you can see she looks more like womanly. Like her cheeks aren't like fleshed out. You can see some of that pillar action going on the side.
Your eyes always follow you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's like anything that you look at is going to be different because of these restorers.
yeah, like Theseus ship fucking argument.
Yeah, and people spend their entire careers studying this particular Mona Lisa and The Last Supper. So I'm not going to go into all the details about it. But
Go do something else.
yeah, but I did.
Jesus, what a bunch of losers.
I did ask Cody to talk about the modern history of the Mona Lisa
Oh shit.
because there's some interesting shit about it.
Now,
Doesn't
You
she,
asked-
that look on her face? Oh, just a quick sidebar before we get started. That look on her face just looks like she let out a mean fart,
Yeah, it does.
and she's just like waiting for someone to smell it. Like
it's weird because I was just thinking of this when you brought it up, but like that captivating like over the shoulder look she has doesn't seem to be in the original. Like it, you know what I mean?
well, what do you mean over the shoulder?
Like everyone like likes the Mona Lisa expression because it looks like she's like kind of looking past you,
Yeah.
like over your shoulder.
Right.
But it only looks like that was done with like the restoration.
Yeah, but this
Like-
this original we're looking at is just like a theorized
Yeah.
version. So we're not looking at like what it was.
Right.
We're looking at
Theory.
perhaps like a difference
Right.
scale.
An estimate of what it could have looked like.
Right.
Yeah. But I know what you mean though.
It's just
comparing the
weird
two.
that like that phenomena is not present in something that is so similar to what we know today as the Mona Lisa. Like I'm realizing there is a subtlety in like the eye details that is absent in like the mock-up original.
All right.
Just something I thought was fine.
So what
Thunderful.
happened with this bitch? Why is she so famous?
She famous because it's one of the like tried and true Leonardo da Vinci pieces. There's actually in my research I learned there's only one Leonardo da Vinci surviving piece of artwork that has a complete history about it, and that's the Last Supper.
Right.
Like history, like we know exactly where the Last Supper is for like every year of his existence. The Mona Lisa fucking has dropped off the radar once or twice, and everyone's like, "Ooh, is this the original? Do we have the right thing?" We're fairly certain we do, but like the Mona Lisa just goes disappearing every now and then. I think like Napoleon, like quote unquote, stole it once, but it technically like wasn't stealing because he's like the head cheese, so like he just says like, "I'm reallocating it."
right, just
he,
moving
like,
it around.
Yeah.
He reallocated it to his fucking personal bedroom.
Yeah, I'm not looking at you, baby. I'm looking at that Mona Lisa. She making me Mona.
Yes. And then I also have here one Italian dude named Vincenzo Perugia fucking stole the Mona Lisa. And you're
Okay.
thinking like, oh, 1911, August 1911, it was a Monday. And you're thinking like, oh, he like fucking like rappelled into the Louvre from like a fucking skylight and like, you know, dusted for like the laser grid and like, you know, like did this sexy like butt push through to like steal the Mona Lisa. No, he just walked in when the fucking Louvre was closed and literally just took it off the wall, peeled it from the frame, put it under his
God.
coat, and walked home.
Oh, he took it out of the frame too?
Yeah, he left the frame for the authorities to fucking find.
Oh, that's so much worse.
Yeah, but-
Because that really destroys the integrity of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the fucking weird thing. It was like the authorities thought like it was manhandled, and when they found it, it would just be like a fucking like
Crumpled up.
like Starbucks napkin in like someone's like hamper.
That's what I would
But
think.
like
yeah.
but when they found it, it was like it was in Vincenzo's fucking like trunk in his living room, and it was like nearly pristine, even though he like tore it out of the frame and like left it in like an climate controlled like apartment in his trunk.
Wow.
Anyway, he steals it because he's an Italian, and he's just like, why the French get Leonardo's stuff? Italy should get Leonardo's stuff.
I agree with
And he
that, man.
How'd they find him?
So the thing is, the Mona Lisa is pretty fucking famous. So like when you take out an advert, when you go to Craigslist, Mike, and you can be like Mona Lisa for sale, people are going to be like, oh, what's that about? And sure enough, like he tried to quietly like contact
Sell it on the low.
like the Uffizi
Offshore.
Museum, I think, in Florence. Yeah,
Florence, right?
He contacted Florence Uffizi Museum and was just like, hey, I recaptured the Mona Lisa for my country. And he's just like, I'll give it to you on the cheap for like, I don't know. I think the figure was like 50,000 lira.
Which is like
And-
86 cents. Or
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like one baguette.
The museum had to like fucking confirm it was the actual Mona Lisa, and they used a really cool trick. Like, of course, like Leonardo's brushstrokes can be replicated, but the thing was like the varnish had cracked, so they were matching the cracks up in the varnish with like photographs of the Mona Lisa because that's what I mean. That's something chaotic that happens to it.
right, you can't copy that.
You can't recreate a crack in a varnish.
Right.
And then as soon as like the Uffizi like curators were like, oh shit, this is real, they told Vincenzo to go home and wait for his money. But they just fucking called the cops on him.
You idiot.
And,
Damn.
yeah, the judge that oversaw Vincenzo's like trial pretty much agreed with him. Like, this should be an Italian treasure, not a
That's
Louvre
true.
piece. So the judge only like gave him 2 years in prison, or 2 months in prison rather.
Huh.
You get a slap on your Italian wrist for taking one of like the art world's biggest treasures and throwing it in a trunk for 2 years.
That's
you
crazy.
Tom,
Yeah, that's not so bad.
yeah, Tom, you might have a different opinion about whether it should belong in Italy or France by the end of this episode, but yeah.
I mean, where do I think it belongs? I think it belongs in the garbage. It's not that good.
Not even the recycling bin, just right in with like the coffee grounds and banana peels.
The garbage.
Yeah.
The first thing in the garbage, and then just cans of soup and
Tuna fish.
banana peels and all that shit. Just
I would have hung it on my wall.
it's not. She's not turning me on. Okay.
Well,
so what's the point?
all right.
That's what art's supposed to do. It's supposed to get you hard. It's supposed to make you move. It's supposed to make you want to be able to get that house. 401ks, other inspirational things about money.
You wouldn't put it on your garage wall though? The Mona Lisa? You wouldn't just hang it
No,
up?
I probably hang it up on the wall. You know.
In the garage.
In the
though, so
garage.
it's like out in the garage.
Yeah, I don't want my guests to come over and see
Yeah.
this eyesore.
Well, this eyesore took Leonardo 10 years to make.
A long time. It's a lot of standing
And-
there for that girl.
Yeah.
And I think like people when they see it are like underwhelmed because they overestimate the size
Uh-huh.
It's
that the
tiny,
Mona
right?
Lisa should be. Yeah, it's tiny.
it's like the size of an iPad.
I think I looked it up. It's like 2 feet and 6 inches high, and then it's like,
Well, it's probably
There's
bigger
a
before
pump-
that bitch ass cut it out.
yeah, that's true too.
2.5 feet tall.
Yeah, your average American consumer probably has a television that has bigger dimensions than the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
that's true.
One of the biggest mysteries in art history is who is the Mona Lisa?
Yeah,
We don't exactly know who the portrait is of. Honestly,
Who dat
honestly,
bitch?
it's probably some rich cunt. Like,
Her name's not Mona Lisa?
yeah, there's like he did some commissions for this like famous Duke guy, and it could have been like one of his courtesans, or we don't really know. There's a bunch of different versions. I don't want to go into all of them. It's not our history show.
I like the theory that it's a gender bent Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I was going to talk about. Some people think that it's a female version of a self-portrait of Leonardo da Vinci, and that's just stupid. That's dumb.
because
That's
you'd give
fun.
yourself giant baps if you're gonna do like a female version of yourself, wouldn't you, Mike?
So, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't 2017 when he did this, so obviously people weren't thinking about gender swapping everything they did.
Baps.
Yeah, exactly. Other people think that it's a painting of his mother, Katerina, that he had done from memory because she had died a few years before he started working on this.
Oh, damn.
Honestly, I just think it's some rich cunt. That's it.
It's some bitch named Nicole.
She looks like a Nicole, don't she?
Yeah, the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
A.K.A. Nicole. Drives a Nissan Sentra.
Yeah, with her pet dog, with her toy breed pet dog in the passenger seat.
So, for The Last Supper, his other famous painting, Leonardo used faces he saw in the streets of Milan as his inspiration for the
Wow.
disciples.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So all those disciples you see, that's just even Jesus. There's like a
Some
certain
random dude.
person that he thinks that he drew.
Oh, Gilbert Gottfried. I see it so clearly now.
So the patron of the Last Supper, a man named Duvoloco Sabaros. It's Sabaros.
Oh,
All right, that's fine. For this.
Yeah. So Sabaros, he was like, "Yo, dude, Leo, where's my painting? It's been years. I commissioned you to do this painting."
Yeah, like a mall or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, listen, I hired a guy to paint giant tomatoes and lettuce in all my pizza places, and he had it done in a week. Why is this taking so long?
So, and Leonardo was like, "Dude, I'm looking for the right. I'm going to the bad parts of town to find the right face for Judas."
Oh.
And he was like, I haven't found the most sinister face to sketch from yet. And it took him about a year to keep looking for Judas. And eventually, Sabaro Boy was pressured Leo enough where Leo was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna use the first face I found for Judas." There you go.
So it's like a backroom casting episode, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to make $15,000 a day? Come with me.
The big takeaway with Leonardo's art is that he humanized painting. If you think of art at the time and during the Dark Ages, it always centered around religion, and that was the same thing with Leonardo. But they all kind of had weird alien proportions and giant frisbees on their heads.
Oh,
The halos.
giant frisbees,
And everyone's just
I
like
need that.
everyone's just like looking forward, right? Like Leonardo
they
did that
haven't.
with portraits, but like when he was drawing something like we looked at Saint Jerome, the guy's not like looking straight at you. He's like looking
No.
down, like
a little candid.
yeah. So Leonardo, when he saw all these old picture paintings, he's like, "Fuck this garbage." His characters and the saints aren't standing looking at the view with the halo on the head. They're doing something. He wanted to see the stories of the Bible as if they were right in front of him.
Admirable.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So he painted like life into his subjects. You could kind of read their emotions by looking at their faces, and what they were doing kind of suggested motion as well. Like it wasn't just stuffy stick figures.
They're in the middle of doing a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Leonardo grows into his own in Milan, and thanks to his Sabaro patron,
Okay.
who was actually the Duke of Milan. The Duke of Milan gave him two major projects for Leonardo to work on. The first one was architectural repair to the massive Duomo Cathedral.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. So the first idiot that built it made all these structural mistakes, and it was about to fall over, and Leo was tasked with just correcting them.
He's just shoring up sides of.
It's like, I play
buildings.
guitar. That's what you want me to do?
Yeah, all right, bro.
I'm good at
Hey,
drawing
man, helicopters,
penises.
though, you can fix
All right, put some bricks over there so the other bricks don't fall over. You guys are Italian. You can do this overnight.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So it seems like he put some really hard work into it. There's a lot of weird geometric shapes that he drew, and he may have actually finished this one, and they just passed it off to the master builder. But we're not sure if he actually did complete it. Like his name just kind of drops off the records. Like I don't know, maybe he was taking too long, and
Yeah, but with a team like that, you don't need to finish it. Maybe
Yeah.
he just started doing the preliminary sketches, handed it over, and the guy was like, "Oh, okay, I see what you're doing here."
right, yeah.
Approved.
His second big project was a little bit more daunting. The Duke of Milan wanted Leonardo to construct the largest bronze statue of himself on a horse. The
Wow.
Duke of Milan on a horse.
Sure.
So,
Why not?
as of the 15th century, the largest or the tallest bronze statue was of Augustus, and it was built during the Romans. So you think about how many years have gone by, and the Romans are still beating everyone at bronze statue making.
Thick boy.
Yeah, so Leonardo was like, "Yeah, I got this. My master was a goldsmith. He, metal casting. I know all about it." So this undertaking took Leonardo 15 years. And in the end, all he did was build a giant mold. And yeah, there was no horse. And again, he just kind of gave up.
Oh, okay. I would do the same thing if someone asked me to do that, though, because that's not even fun.
No.
No.
But this was actually something that the famous sculptor Michelangelo mocked him when he met him in Rome. So Michelangelo, who was younger than Leonardo, was a bit dense. He was a very cocky, not the weird introvert that Leonardo was. And while Leonardo was having some deep conversation with a friend outside of the Spini Palace, Leo was like, "Oh, here comes Michelangelo. He'll explain it to you." Some weird theory. And Michelangelo was like, "Explain it yourself. You who made a model of a horse you never could cast in bronze and which you gave up on. You shame yourself."
Low blow.
Wow, that was mean.
Yeah, really.
Fucking dick.
The guy was just like, I'm just trying to find out where closest to Barrows is.
So,
People, man.
at the start of the 16th century, so the 1500s, France invaded northern Italy and installed a puppet government in various city-states like Milan and Florence, I think. I think they reached Florence. During this time, Leonardo moved around a lot. He moves back to Florence, where he serves Borgia, that we talked about a little bit, and chills with Machiavelli. He then lives in Rome. This is all while he's taking painting commissions that he never finishes. There was a certain countess that bothered him for nearly the rest of his life after he had sketched out a drawing of her and then promised her a portrait that he just never did.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, I gotta do.
I've done that before.
So he's also selling his military engineering ideas to various city-states. One of them was telling the Venetians that he could design diving suits so they could attack ships using underwater pikemen.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You ever make them?
Well,
Seems ineffective.
yeah, the Venetians actually passed, and it was probably a smart thing as someone that's dove before, because Leonardo's tanks were just sheep bladders.
Yeah. No, you need more than that.
Yeah, a little bit.
So he was also later in life very interested in solar energy.
Wow.
So
Progressive.
much like we harness the power of the sun using solar plants, he was devising the same idea using mirrors, which is, if you go to a solar plant, it's a bunch of mirrors that are pointed at basically a water tower, which heats up the water and creates energy. So he was
Burning
thinking the
ants.
same shit in the 16th century.
Look at that.
Yeah. And he also invented, maybe not to the same degree as we did in the 20th century, but fucking plastics.
How'd he do that?
He made something he called plastic glass, which could be shaped into all sorts of objects. It was like a weird mix of like eggs and weird shit, but apparently it formed into like a translucent, malleable type of glass that wasn't actually glass.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wish we had more plastics just made out of eggs.
Yeah.
I'd love
right?
to finish a Coke and just throw the fucking bottle into the ocean and not feel like I'm doing the worst thing in that moment.
Yeah. Just feeding the shrimp eggs.
Yeah, like, all done.
Yeah.
Goodbye now.
He was.
That organic
That's exactly how your great grandfather felt.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's what they just felt with plastics.
The ocean takes it away and it feeds big whales. The whales bring us fish, and the fish goes into tuna cans, and thus is the cycle of life.
The circle of life.
Hey, Grandpa, I don't think it works like that. Who cares, though?
Oh, Timmy, here's
It's
some
the
marbles.
50s.
Just eat them.
Now let's go to the bar, do a few shots. Are you 12 yet? All right, you're allowed to drink, and then I'll drive you home.
Thanks, Grandpa. Or you drive me home, boy.
So
I'm tired. I'd like to rest these eyes.
So Leonardo was still getting by with commissions to paint and designs for different buildings.
You okay?
Yeah. Even though at this point he was so weak in his arms he could barely hold a paintbrush.
Oh.
Oh, what happened to him?
we couldn't figure out what happened to him. He's under 60. He's like in his 50s, and I don't know, he needs workers' comp or some shit working for the union. You know what I'm saying?
Arthritis.
Painting too much. So he was actually working on this church that he'd spent about 4 years on, and then he decided to try a recipe for paint that Pliny the Elder came up with, our very first episode.
Wow, callback.
Yeah, and wouldn't you know it, that Pliny's great recipe for paint just dripped and ruined everything. So when Leonardo came in the next day and saw that what he worked on was all fucked up, he was like left.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm done. And just like left the church all like gooped.
I would have been pissed too.
Yeah. I did my job. It's not my fault.
It's like the first rage quit of history. It's like, fuck this, I'm out.
All right, so I'm going to wrap this boy up a little bit before I ask you the question. Let's talk about his elder years. So he's around the age of 60 now, and King Francis, who controlled most of northern Italy, he was the king of France. Francis, the king of France. Actually, if you want to listen to a really good thing about Francis, just a little side shout out to another podcast. Cauldron Podcast did a really good one on the Battle of Palova, I think it was. Yeah.
Sick.
And we also talked
a lot of research in that podcast.
You can also kind of hear a lot about Francis in our Jacob Fugger episode. We talked about him.
Same Frankie.
Yeah, Fugger actually met Leonardo. That was one of the things that I read when I was going through Fugger.
Yeah, and from then on out, Leonardo owed him money.
Yeah.
I just shook the guy's hand once, and now my fucking bank account is hemorrhaging every second I look, and I'm stuck in a Sbarro, and my credit card gets declined.
That's the most stinging like decline from like a Sbarro's, because everything's like $1.19 there.
I gotta treat myself to Sbarro's because I had a rough week.
Who the fuck treats themselves to Sbarro's
right now?
Masochists.
Oh, that's like treating yourself to Panda Express.
Yeah, right? Oh my goodness.
Honey, it's time to get a little cultured. We gotta treat ourselves to Panda Express.
Orange chicken.
I remember my buddy Gabe was telling me about how one of his childhood friends, his dad used to bring them to Olive Garden and say how that was a legit Italian place because of the bread. The bread, the non-stop flow of bread. He'd be like, to a bunch of 8-year-old kids, like, this is a fucking legit Italian place. Look at this goddamn bread that keeps coming out. Oh my fucking god!
I never had Olive Garden. Is it good?
No, don't ever go to Olive Garden.
Don't.
You're fine. You're better off.
Chicken Parmesan premium, dude. Let me tell you.
Hey,
right,
we are.
Right in the brown palm. All right, so this King Francis was in love with Leonardo. Like he's like, everything you do is genius. You're just such a great guy. Like, I want to hang out with you and we can chat, blah, blah, blah. So he gives Leonardo the Chateau of Ambroge, which is right next to King Francis's palace in Lyon. So
fancy.
Yeah. Leo at this point is too crippled to paint anything anymore. He also has failing eyesight and has to wear glasses. Again, we don't know exactly why he's like crumbling. I just think he's been on,
too much paint. It's been
painting ceilings.
I think so, man. Like, there was probably shit in that paint that it's pretty bad.
Probably eating the paint too.
He's looking a little bit of that,
Yeah.
There's actually a really interesting. I didn't write this in the script, but I found it interesting. Everything that Leonardo did none of it was oil paintings. So the Flemish. Well, actually, I think some of the later paintings he did were oils. But the Flemish had the idea for oil paintings. Like, they knew how to do oil paintings. And somebody actually killed someone in Italy to figure out the technique they were using with their oil paintings.
Really?
Well, you can't figure anything out from a fucking corpse.
Teddy, that wasn't part of the plan. We were going to ask him about the oils first, squeeze it out, maybe crop a few fingers off, and then kill him. You don't kill him first. Now we're going to be stuck here without painting oils for the rest of history. God damn it, you fucking klutz.
So Francis enjoyed talking to Leonardo. He called him his favorite painter, engineer, and architect.
Aww.
The two of them in France spent hours chatting about theories of nature, physics, anatomy, and all their wacky subjects that Leonardo had studied over the course of his life. And now when you were talking about why does the Louvre have all of his paintings, because Leo actually brought the Mona Lisa and like all these other paintings with him to France, because basically the King of France was like, these dudes in Italy are just fucking using you. I actually like you, and we should hang out. And I'll pay for your living, because you're like you can't paint anymore.
Also, if I can get like a favorite painter, engineer, architect all in one, I hate memorizing names, so that really helps me out.
Yeah.
He's like a Swiss Army knife of a tenant.
I only need one favorite. Conversation. Hey, who's your favorite painter? Leonardo. Who is your favorite architect? Leonardo.
What's your favorite type of bread?
Leonardo. My name is Leonardo, sir. Shut up. Get back in there. You're my favorite closet-dwelling weirdo. Leonardo.
Check out this squirrel pig I made for you.
He's my favorite dermist.
So, ask me the question.
How did this artistic boy die?
All right, so
did the men?
Leonardo, although he was religious throughout his entire life, he was very pick and choosy. Besides his sodomy charge when he was younger, and also one dude accusing him of necromancy for dissecting bodies, he was very pious, and the church respected him. I mean, he's doing all these great artworks for them. So
Yeah.
but the interesting thing was Leo did not believe in life after death. Wow. So he actually called death the supreme evil, and he was very, in his elder years, he was very like upset that he, like, once you're dead, you're dead.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Yeah. Which kind of goes against
Interesting.
being religious, in
Yeah.
the
It's
Catholic
almost time to
Church,
draw
right?
that Shit.
So by the time Leonardo da Vinci was 67, he couldn't walk anymore. Like I keep saying,
no legs.
we don't know the illness, and we can't study his corpse because it was destroyed during one of the Napoleonic Wars and lost over the centuries.
Way to
Oh,
go.
so they kept him around for a little
Well,
bit?
he's just buried somewhere in Lyon, and then apparently the church was like occupied. The church and graveyard was like occupied by troops, and I don't know. World War II happened. Like we don't know where his corpse is.
It's a shame.
They knocked over all the headstones, probably.
With all of his will squared away, he didn't forget about his little demon child. That he's
Demon child.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
the
where's
kid-
that fucking sick bastard been around?
So the kid actually, he was floating around. He was kind of like a socialite in Italy for a while. Basically had no talent. One of those people who was like, Leonardo's my daddy.
Like one of those people on that, what's that app, Shmule? Like one of those people.
Those assholes.
Mule. So with
Save
his
your eyes.
will squared away, he died with the King of France in the room. The King of France apparently ran over to him while he was dying. He was seconds away from dying in the arms of the King of
Kissed him on
France.
the lips.
And the date was May 2nd, 1519.
There you go.
And he was 67. And that's Leonardo da Vinci.
2 years shy of 69. That sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd hang out with
Pretty
Leonardo
cool
da
guy.
Vinci.
Yeah.
Oh,
Draw really good.
Another thing he used to do, and that he did do for the King of France, was he would design sets for parties. So they like some guy would be like, "Oh, because I have a party, Leonardo da Vinci, can you make me some sweet canopies?" And he actually designed a mechanical tiger that could walk a few steps.
Oh, cool. Animatronic shit.
Leonardo, I need an idea for a party. This one's got to be a popper. I've been doing a lot of parties recently, but this one's got to go over because it's my birthday. Okay, you understand
you.
where I'm going? All right. So what do you got in mind? What about a Roaring Twenties party? All the women wear feathers and short dresses and pillbox hats and dance around with their boobies. And whatever's underneath that, they're bark holes. And then and all the men will pretend that the booze is a bad thing and the U.S. government wants them shot.
What's a U.S. government?
You're a time traveler.
Time traveling.
He's a
Dude, that's what
fucking
I'm saying.
time traveler.
Every time there's a theme party, it's just like 1920s. Of course we're going to do this. We're going to flap around, dude.
I mean, we don't know. He could have had a 1920s party in like 1592. Not 1592 because he would have been dead. 1492.
Never know.
You
No
know
phones.
what? Maybe we should have a future party like that.
That'd be cool.
Do you?
How would you do it?
Next time you guys are over here, we're gonna have a future party. We're gonna do like the
Oh, that'd
year.
be sweet.
We'll do the year
1310.
That is way old. 1310.
Yeah.
Why did you go 1310?
Because that's like the I don't know, like medieval times. It's pretty.
That's
pretty
old,
funny
dude.
looking.
That's not a
doing a
future
future party.
It needs to be
Oh,
like
future.
20.
Well, Back to the Future. They go back.
Yeah,
in the
like
past.
20,
I'll do a
45.
1310 party. We'll just go in the backyard and get covered in dirt.
Yeah.
And one of us will die of dysentery.
Yeah, and I'll
Yeah,
whip
we'll wonder where the
people.
sun goes after it gets dark too.
Yeah. We'll sit around
be
the
a spaceman
campfire and
instead?
I'll fucking beat the shit out of a cat.
I'll pick ticks out of Travis's beard.
Yeah.
All right. I think Leo is pretty cool.
Well,
There's some
you were
weird
saying
stuff.
something about guns, though.
What?
You were saying something about gun things you'd get to.
Oh, yeah. I talked about how he made a machine gun, a shotgun.
Oh, okay.
Tank.
You already did it. I
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention.
He made a whole bunch of weird killing machines. You can look them
That's
up.
nice of him.
But he was a peaceful boy. Oh, yeah, man. Nature.
Didn't mean
Weird.
to.
I would hate if this guy was Elon Musk.
That's
So
weird because
much.
Elon's like, I'll make a flamethrower, but don't kill anyone with it.
Yeah, right?
That's what Leonardo did. He was like, I'll draw this machine
Yeah.
gun that existed, like that's going to exist in like 1910.
You think he had chemical
but
115?
don't use it.
Basil Zarov.
I'm going to throw this guess out there and say that Elon Musk draws for shit.
Yeah, probably. He probably draws.
He's probably,
But he probably
he's
draws-
probably good at drawing penises.
Yeah,
though.
I was going to say, he probably draws a mean penis.
probably
Big
can't
metal
play
penis.
guitar. Not as cool as Da Vinci. Travis, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Travis, thanks.
And to all of our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in, making it
Thank
all
you,
the way
Shane.
through this grueling episode of excellence.
did it.
I know it's hard to get through an episode where the person is not that bad. So thanks. Go to patreon.com/roastmortemcast.
Yes.
Find yourself to the subscribe or what is it?
Hit
Is
the
it
like button.
Yeah, whatever. Just
Help
do all the
me!
shit, man.
Smash that
Help
like.
me!
Give us $1. Give us $2. You know what? Don't give us any money.
Leave a comment.
Give us negative press, please. Give us anything.
iTunes.
I don't care. I'm just
iTunes ratings are pretty fucking cool.
yeah. Put thumbs down. Bunch of fucking dumb bastard
Yeah.
makers.
-5 stars.
Thumbs up if you like us.
All right. Well, we just lost Travis due to technical difficulty.
Nice.
No,
still
he's
there.
back. There he is.
I see him cheesing.
Where is he? Travis, talk. He's not
No,
back, Cody.
he's not back.
All right. Well, thanks again. That's
Good job.
Travis just clocked out.
Fuck you, Travis.
Peace.
Yeah. Bye.